Every human has a mind. So long you have a mind, you have a mission. And mission has to be motivated by your attitude and manner. Because every mission has a great magnitude. And it's very important to you. To me, there's only one important thing. Let me tell you in one line. My basic belief is God made me, He couldn't do better than this, and happiness is my birthright. And this cannot be taken away. So, technologically and knowledgeably, if you understand these few little things, you can be contained, content, and continuous, and not be competing, comparing, and confused. And consciousness. These few little things. Be straight, simple, and do it with a smile if you cannot do it effectively. I am very effective. I am very, very personal when I have to. Normally, I smile, I use logic, I use reason, I tell people what to do, I request. Sometimes I order, sometimes I yell, sometimes I scream. I use all human tactics. The basic idea is to work it out. Because you know, when a person falls, teacher falls with it. Teacher has no other fault. It's the fault of the student, which is the evidence of the teacher. It's called impotence or non-effectiveness. Person has traveled the distance to come and meet the teacher. Now this is how it is. This is the law of karma. When soul got the body, God promised, you shall meet your teacher for a moment. That's the promise which God has to fulfill. He never said that you will stick with him or her, whatever the case is. He never said that that person will continue teaching you. That was not the thing. You shall meet for a moment your teacher. So, distance is there, destiny is there. You travel the distance, you meet the teacher. You recognize or you not, that's your choice. You miss it. If you recognize, then comes two things. You worked it out or you didn't work it out. That's your choice. You accept or you deny. That's your choice. You obey or you disobey. That's your choice. Because law of dharma is obey, serve, love, and excel. Now, there are a lot of unfortunate things about things. Some teacher take away the money, some teacher take away a lot of things from people, and students have a lot of complaints. But neither there is a student nor there is a teacher. There's a law of destiny. Teacher doesn't become teacher. Teacher is destined to be a teacher, and student doesn't become student. Student is destined to be a student. And whosoever is destined to be a student shall become great master. That is the only law which God cannot change. That's the only law which shall prevail beyond the existence of Almighty. That is the only law through which there is a human history recorded where God came and served the man, and man became greater than God. God commands all the time, He's Almighty, but there are incidents that great God was commanded by man. And God obeyed. There are great incidents and examples where man changed the written law of God. And there's a saying in the scripture, not given by the man of God cannot be untied by God. Not given by God can be untied by man of God. राम की बांधी भगत छुड़ाए, भगत की बांधी कोई ना है. If a man of God puts a knot on something, it cannot be opened by anybody. Why? Because that one lonely God wants to prevail through all. And somewhere, to prove to himself, he takes a body. And that's called incarnation. It's a privilege to be divine and let duality go once in a while. You must understand, there is not a one person I have met in my life, and you must have to understand the same, who wants to be bad. Nobody wants to be bad. But there are people bad. Everybody wants to be super good, but there are not people good. What is the problem? Caliber. People try to be good and try to be great, but they forget to develop caliber. The old sages developed the science of Kundalini Yoga to develop the caliber of the human in fastest, smallest time. And they developed the science that human can have endurance. So human can walk tall against calamities. So folks, just remember, 25 years ago I came. I even didn't know what Los Angeles is and where it is. From Canada I landed at Chicago, and from Chicago I was put in a plane and landed in the airport, Los Angeles. And I was picked up by a friend, and that's all how it began. There was no great intention to become a great yogi. There was no great intention to teach great dharma. But there was one thing which was very urgent. You come from Judo-Christian background. According to the Indian Swamis, you are untouchables. You don't know this. Yeah. You are scheduled caste, you are untouchable, you are lowest of the lowest of the lowest. You may think you are the great and all that, forget it. But to them, you are just nothing. So, I used to work in customs. And in those beautiful nights and during the days, I used to find you guys coming all Western with full of money. And then being there for months and months and going back to America, Europe, everywhere, penniless, and you learn nothing. I saw that for year after year, day after day, week after week, month after month. I say, what these crazy people are? I mean, they just come, they bring thousands of dollars, they earn nothing, they go back. They are not even visitors. They are not even tourists. How crazy these people are. There must be some need. So when an opportunity arose, I said, well, one day I'll go to the West and I'll create teachers who will come and teach the Indians. And God grace, today we are real. And dream is not a dream anymore, it is true. An ordinary American student can teach any Indian great Swami and a yogi and a saint and a sage the science of Kundalini Yoga to the extent that it can give an experience. and that's real. I definitely happily feel and healthily I am in environments, and wholly I feel that that dream which I had come true. If all the knowledge which is recorded in 25 years, anybody can pick it, that can be a man of a super acknowledgement, excellent, which cannot and shall not be challengeable by anybody. Because I brought knowledge and I left it there for you. With a practical experience, we call it classes. There's no idea, you must understand. We don't initiate anybody, we don't welcome anybody because we don't reject anybody. We don't personally, emotionally involve people because we do not reject them later. People come, they work it out, sometimes they don't have a caliber and they flip-flop, or they go, or they come, or they stay, or they take a part, or they take a whole. It's a very funny word. But the caravan of knowledge continues. It's very good. These things are very natural. You know, there are a lot of things here, it's not only this. So, share with me the most beautiful journey which I have gone through odds and evens of life in last 25 years. I'm very grateful to Los Angeles that I started in Hollywood. Do you know that there was a movie called Wing Cannot Read It by Arthur Rank? And do you know I was supposed to be the main actor of that movie? And do you know on the completion of the inauguration of the movie I was supposed to come in Hollywood? Exactly 10 years later I came. And I wrote a letter to my wife saying, do you understand what arrangements they asked me to have when I'll come here, and figure it out if that exists the same where I am. So I was just 10 years late. Do you understand that? After all, acting is acting. There's no difference. I would have acting as an actor in that movie, and I would have come as acting yogi, you know, the same thing. And I could have been flying in the airlines, going here and there for jobs, and flying here, there to teach. Things don't change much, it's the same thing. But you know, the connection and disconnection is not based on your will. It is based on the electromagnetic frequency of the soul, to which the commanding center is in your shashra, is the pineal. Your life is controlled by the attraction and the radiation of the pineal, and your strength is commanded by the pituitary, and your expansion and contraction is based on your throat chakra. And your great happiness is based on the warmth of your heart. And your grit and endurance is in your navel point. And your reproductivity and recreativity and all prevailing is in your creative organ. And your life elimination, unwanted stuff, which has to go through the black hole, is in your anus. If you would have understood that simple science, you could have been the best human beings, and you are the best. But it runs automatically. You do not pay attention to all this. If you just pay attention to yourself only, you'll find God within you. There is no such thing God outside you. And there is nothing outside you. Let me complete it with one sentence. In the beginning is you, in the middle is you, at the end is you. It cannot change. You can be cheated or conned into certain beliefs. You can be netted in a love and story of that. You can, a lot of things can happen.